Hey Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome back to the channel, and welcome if you're new to me and the Moon Magic Tarot channel. Well, the Moon Magic Tarot community, that's really what we are. You're going to meet an amazing bunch of people if you connect in with us. Beautiful souls, I'm going to be doing your all zodiac sign readings in this video, and also an overview of the energy of the moon month. I'm going to start with the new moon and go all the way through the moon month. Now, truly, honestly, this month and next, and sort of a little bit further on into the year as well, is looking to be quite sort of, I don't know, a little bit crazy. We've got this amazing connection that's coming up on April the 20th. Now, this moon month doesn't cover that date, but it covers the build up to it, which is why I'm going to talk about it now, and I'll be touching base with it again for the next moon month. But basically, Uranus and Jupiter are coming together in a conjunction. Now, this is generally thought of as being really auspicious, a really positive connection, but it's powerful, it's electric, it's dynamic, it's expansive. We can expect the unexpected, actually. Uranus is the great awakener. Uranus shakes things up. Uranus wants out-of-the-box solutions and higher-minded solutions. Jupiter wants to expand everything. Jupiter wants fairness, to bring in optimism, hope, and make everything bigger and better. So this is a really dynamic duo. Now, they don't come together till the 20th of April. So it'll come into the next moon month update in a big way. But what we have in this moon month is almost like the doorway that opens us to this energy, which is why I think we might begin to see some kind of like weird and crazy things going on. And, you know, Uranus really does shake things up. You know, expect the unexpected, but with positive results, okay? Because this is a very positive collaboration. So we have eclipse season that starts this month. We start with a full moon eclipse, and that's going to run through the next new moon and then the following full moon as well. Eclipse season opens portals of energy that connect us to the past, the present, and the future. It's kind of like, it's like there's an open space where we can see where we've come from so that we can take charge of it, step into a space of empowerment, self-responsibility, and start to make decisions right here and right now that are going to shape the future yet to come. And then we have all this incredible energy of Uranus and Jupiter coming along, who are getting closer and closer together already, wanting to create change and bring about shifts and turns and expand everything in the most positive way. So it's really energized and dynamic. What I will say though is, if you've got a ton of stuff going on in your world, and you are just longing for some peace and quiet and some chill out time, and you'd like everything to level out and settle down, this might just actually feel a little bit crazy for you. On the other hand, if you're in the zone where you've got a lot of energy and you're raring to go and you just wish doorways would open for you, then I think this energy is going to work really well for you. It also, of course, depends on how that influence is coming in. Maybe if you have access to your own natal chart, I would be looking at, you know, how the Jupiter-Uranus connection is going to impact on you, and also the eclipse energy as well. I listened actually the other day to a fabulous YouTube video by a really amazing astrologer, Pam Gregory. I'll put the link to this in the description box, along with all the timestamps as well, so you can get to all the readings for all the zodiac signs and all the different phases of the moon through the coming moon month, so you can check in with the energy at any time of the incoming moon and lunar influence. But yeah, I'll put a link to her video as well, because it's really interesting and really worth listening to. Truly, I recommend it. So this is the kind of stuff that we have going on. Now, the reason I do a moon month energy update is because the moon is, from our perspective, I mean, actually, she's our satellite. She's constantly moving around the Earth. But from our perspective, sitting here on Earth and looking at all the planets around us, if you imagine that they were moving around us, which of course they're not, but you know, from our perspective here on Earth, the energy is coming in from all of these different planets, these different heavenly bodies, The moon is the one that moves the fastest. And as she moves around the earth, whenever her energy, which is very magnetic, you know, the connection between the sun and the moon with the earth in the center is enough to move our oceans. And actually, we, all of us, as adults, are approximately made of 75% water. So it kind of makes logical sense. And many of us, myself especially, have loads of experiences where we have followed the moon, and we know that the lunar influence does actually have quite a significant impact on our daily lives because she's moving so fast. And that's why I do a moon diary, because and I do these moon updates, so you don't actually have to go and buy a moon diary, you can just check in on these. But as the moon is circling around us, when she passes a planetary connection or a planetary collaboration, she tunes in with that energy, she heightens it, or sometimes she softens it. If the lunar energy is diminishing, if we have passed the full moon point in a month and the lunar energy is slowing down, she can actually soften some of the harsher, more dynamic, sort of spiky energies that are coming in from the planetary dynamics. But if she's building up to her fullest and her energy is really on the get-go and she passes a particular influence, she's going to exaggerate it, she's going to make it bigger. And then we have the void of course periods, which I always touch base with every moon month. And a void of course, for those of you who are new to the moon, a void of course is when the moon is moving through the different zodiac signs. So if you think that she's affecting or magnetizing or enhancing the energy of the planetary collaborations, the lunar energy is also channeling through the influence of the different zodiac signs and those traits and personalities of the different zodiac signs as the moon passes through them. And so sometimes she doesn't move smoothly from one sign to another. There's a space in between. So there's no particular influence taking place. Now, sometimes this can feel really liberating, a lot of freedom around it. But if you are longing for some stability, it can leave you feeling a bit out at sea. So I always touch base in these moon month updates on the void of course periods as well, if there are any that are kind of six hours or more, because that's when we really notice that impact. So, beautiful souls, that's a bit of a rundown of what's happening. I just think we could see some pretty crazy, weird stuff. Uranus is very electric, very dynamic, so is Jupiter. But you know, this collaboration, you know, we could see some really sparky stuff happening, sudden stuff, unexpected stuff that causes us to have to think on our feet. And of course, also with the energy to expand and make things bigger. So, with this forthcoming energy, started almost by the eclipse energy when doorways are going to open. And by the way, yes, if I'm about to forget this as well, and we have a Mercury retrograde period happening as well, starting on the 1st of April. Mercury stations direct and moves into a retrograde period. Now, Mercury in retrograde, some people just dread it because it's kind of like roadworks pop up everywhere and things go wrong, things don't run to plan. Now, remember, the electric energy of Uranus also affects sort of our IT systems, satellites, all this kind of stuff. And Mercury affects communication. And we often find, you know, one of the big things about Mercury retrogrades that we always say is back everything up. So if anything goes down or goes wrong, you've kind of preserved stuff. So yeah, do remember, back everything up. Take longer if you're going on a journey. Plan for it to take potentially longer. There may be diversions along the way. But I always say to people, rather than seeing a Mercury retrograde period as a crisis or a problem, I think it arrives with real purpose. Because I do not believe that as human beings, we were actually designed to always be on the go, 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 go. You know, going from A to Z at the fastest possible speed, in a straight line, you know, getting from one goal to another. I believe that we are supposed to have periods when we push forwards, but also periods when we slow down, periods when we ease off, periods when we reflect. because it means we navigate with greater awareness. And Mercury helps us to look back in retrograde, to look back, to review, to reflect. And I think if we're trying to go fast forwards all the time, stuff will start to happen that will make you have to stop and reflect and take stock in a different way. So if stuff does happen, I always think try and stop and really notice and recognize this is coming in with a purpose. This is valuable for you. This is actually fab. Something really important is being shown to you. So kind of go with this. This is go with that attitude, and the whole thing shifts. Rather than feeling immensely frustrated and, I don't know, pissed off that nothing else is running to plan, just slow it down, because that's what you're being asked to do. Slow it down, review, take stock, look at it differently. If there's a diversion, there's probably something on that diversion that will give you a key piece of information that might be really valuable for you to assist you to be able to move forwards more quickly without that dynamic, I've got to go in a straight line and get there as quickly as I can from A to B and that's it. You know, it's such a human-centric perspective to always be goal-driven, rather than meandering and living more in the moment. And Mercury in retrograde actually helps us to do that. We can live far more in the moment. And sometimes stuff will just happen anyway, far more quickly, far more efficiently, in a far more flowing way, because we're not trying to force it to happen. Okay, every force is met with an equal force, or that's as the dynamics of certain scientific theories and things. So, beautiful souls. Let's continue. I'm just going to dive into the cards and the runes that were drawn in the Manifest with the Moon Astro-Moon diary. That's my diary that I create every year. And just look at those cards and those runes in terms of the flow of energy. Then I'm actually going to run through every phase of the moon month, and I'm going to tell you when all the sort of spiky bits of energy are coming in, when to ease off, when to thrust and move forwards fast, when to reflect, just give you an overview of that energy. And then I am going to draw some cards and runes, particularly runes actually, for every zodiac sign. In my preparation, I was really called to use runes. I think they're so connected, I always feel, to our ancestors, to the wisdom of our ancestors, to where we've come from. So with this dynamic opening up of portals in the eclipse season, runes are very powerful to use during this time because they have this sort of connection to history, to the Akashic records, to this ancient wisdom and knowledge. And as you throw them and you get that connection, it sort of aligns beautifully with the eclipse energy, with that portal of energy, so that we can get present in the here and now. If you think about this collaboration, it's remarkable, really. You've got a portal of energy that allows you to connect to the past and therefore the future. You've got Mercury in retrograde offering you a reflective space so you can use this energy at its best. And then we are starting to edge forwards towards the Uranus and Jupiter conjunction, when the energy is primed to expand and create change and transformation in the best possible way, in the highest possible way, highest vibration, higher levels of consciousness. So pretty fab, but also could be quite wild and crazy and unexpected simultaneously. Let's check in with these cards and runes from the diary, and then I will move into the moon month and then draw cards and runes for all zodiac signs. As always, there are extended readings on Patreon if you want to check those out, and all of the timestamps are in the description box below for all of the phases of the moon, so you can come back to them at any time if you feel like things are, you know, happening and you just want to have a bit of a touch base on that energy. You can do that, and you can also find all of the cards for all of the zodiac signs really, really easily, because if you know your rising sign, your sun sign, your moon sign, it's really worth checking them all out. And you might want to cross-watch as well for friends, family, partners, potential partners. So, beautiful souls, let's shift the camera down and look at the cards and the runes. So, beautiful souls, check these out because these are all about self-responsibility, recognizing elements within relationship, recognizing where things might be stuck or things aren't perfect, coming to terms with them, sorting out our attitude towards things. Moving forwards, we have Isa, the rune of ice, standstill, and the card of independence, alongside the card of imperfection and the rune of flow. Now these cards and runes were drawn for the month of March, so they cover kind of half of this moon month period. And this is all about evaluation in relationship, recognizing that we can learn from our mistakes. And actually, when we stand still and acknowledge how things are and recognize our imperfections and view them as a space of learning, everything starts to shift and flow. In April, the cards that were drawn are Restore Balance and Allow Yourself to Receive. And we have Gibbous, the rune of partnership, Kano, the rune of openings. This also recognizes what I would say fairness and balance in relationship. Now, we are in relationship with all of life. We're in relationship with ourselves, with everyone else, with all of the people in the immediacy of our world. But we're in relationship with all of life. Everything is living, breathing around us. The earth is a living, breathing entity. We are in relationship with all of life, and checking in with that Uranus energy, those higher minded solutions, taking right action, bringing things back into balance, being conscious and aware of things that may have gone wrong in the past, insecurities, imperfections, and through stillness, reflection, things can begin to flow, to shift, and balance can be restored, fairness can be restored. And it means everyone can receive. Not just some people, but everyone, but through higher-minded solutions. I just feel these cards and these runes really embody the potential of this period of time in such a magical way. Beautiful souls, if you're interested in these cards are my own cards, and I do give away a signed limited edition pack every single month. So if you are a subscriber, it is a subscriber offer, but if you are a subscriber to the Moon Magic Tarot channel, then watch out for the announcement every month. I do an announcement to let you know who has won. I give away both a diary, a journal, and cards as well, and I have more cards coming out this year, which is so exciting, so I'll be giving some of those away every month too. So yeah, if you are subscribed and you're on my subscriber email list, then watch out for that announcement video. And if you're interested then and you're subscribing, then do please join that email list. I'll put the link again into the description box for you as well. So beautiful souls, I just think this is a really exciting time, and this is going on for a few months yet. You know, this Jupiter-Uranus connection is one of the most powerful astrological collaborations of 2024. We are moving towards it as the eclipse doorways open. So let's look in detail at all of the different moon phases throughout this moon month, any spiky bits of energy, any void of course periods, when to ease off, when to push forwards, and then I will draw cards and runes for every single zodiac sign. So our moon month begins with the new moon on March the 10th in Pisces. Now the overall astrodynamics today suggests an underlying mix of quite diverse energy. Now this new moon actually sits directly opposite Lilith. Lilith always calls for justice and equality. And this powerful connection opens a flow of energy that invites you to step through and beyond some of your own internal areas of challenge. So if external circumstances seem to be pushing you in any particular direction or opening up areas of deep feeling, then seriously lean into the learning. And if you find yourself getting in touch with some really deep desires, especially around any injustices, maybe even some that you haven't really previously allowed yourself to openly acknowledge, the stuff you didn't believe you were entitled to, this kind of stuff, then listen up. To really engage with the incoming energy at its absolute highest, to be honest, I would invite you to check out where Lilith sits within your own natal chart, because there is a high probability that this positioning may actually have some bearing on how the way that the energetics are sort of arriving in your own personal circumstances. And if you're aware of this, this can really help you to fine-tune your wishes and intentions in alignment with your absolute greatest learning and evolution and progress. Now, I'm going to bring up the timings for you. The reason we bring up the timings for the new and full moons is because they do have a bearing, especially with the new moon, in terms of setting your wishes and intentions. Ideally, you want to set your wishes and intentions as close to the exact point of the new moon as possible, literally when they come together, and then for the following 8 hours, not before, but when they come together, and then the 8 hours afterwards. Now the moon then moves into her waxing crescent moon phase from March the 11th right through to the 16th, and she'll pass through Pisces, Aries, Taurus and Gemini. And this is where the moon is starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger. We see a little crescent moon until she reaches her quarter point, when it looks like we've got a half moon. This is where the energy is starting to rise and starting to get going. Now, the start of this moon phase feels like one of those times when the universe and the planetary alignments are really orchestrating to see things move forwards. So this is absolutely fabulous. The overall dynamics suggest acceleration, but at a steady-ish pace. So seriously, take advantage of this. Get up and literally go with the flow. On the 14th, the pace actually steps up and the energy is really primed for taking a leap or finding out-of-the-box solutions. So be prepared for this. Anything you initiate or invest at this time will have the potential to emerge and evolve quite quickly. The lunar influence intensifies then just before the first quarter position, so be mindful of your emotions at this time and try to notice and observe rather than react. When we then get to the first quarter moon, this is on March the 17th in Cancer, the dynamics are incredibly creative, and there's also this sort of added dose of get up and go with determination. So whatever you're working on and whatever you're manifesting in your world, this first quarter moon brings a stunning energetic that will support you in seeing, knowing and discovering exactly what you need to do to hold your focus, to keep going and to stay on track. This is seriously fab. The moon then moves into her waxing gibbous moon phase, and this runs from March the 18th to the 24th, and she's going to pass from Cancer into Virgo, into Leo and then into Libra. Now, this is the moon phase when the moon is moving from that half point, when we look as if we've got a half and half position in the sky, or a half moon, and then she's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So her energy is building. Now, this moon phase is not without intensity, and it also has a really deep and meaningful kind of flavour to it. And this is not surprising, given that this period embraces the natural turning point of the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere, and if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's the autumn equinox. This is a time, like a window of time, when balance is brought to our attention. So if you roughly divide this period in half, with the first quarter part bringing a significant depth of insight and awareness, real deep diving, which you can then action with practical and pragmatic kind of diligence, then the increasing lunar energy should actually work for you like a treat. I would venture to say the more self-aware you are, the more this energy and this flow of energy is going to be working for you. There are some quite strong spikes of energy, particularly around the 19th and the 21st, and also the 23rd. And even though they're fleeting, be aware of them. The 23rd promises real opportunity to surge ahead, so keep this date in mind. And the energy immediately before the coming full moon eclipse is very emotional. So hold this in your awareness as well, and keep an attitude of ultra mindfulness. This will really help you to stay leveled out and on track. We then arrive at the full moon lunar eclipse on March the 25th in Libra. Now, despite a very emotional build-up to this full moon, once our beautiful moon reaches her fullest point, the lunar energy actually dissipates remarkably quickly, and there's this kind of light and airy space of possibility coming in. Amazing, because this is that portal of energy that is starting to open during eclipse season. Now, I'm just going to bring the timings up for you onto the screen so that you can be aware, particularly if you're feeling the emotional intensity, you can be aware at the point when this energy is going to dissipate and we're going to shift into a space of possibility. The overall astrodynamics for the day are actually very interesting. On the one hand, we see a really powerful influence that calls for expansion, and yet there's also a serious side to the overall flavour of the day. Now, in terms of manifestation, I rather think that the beautiful balancing influence of Libra, overseeing this sort of dynamic mix of both expansiveness and realism, may actually really serve us, helping to anchor and ground the energy of possibility and illuminating exactly what we need to see, so that from a very balanced perspective, we can actually move something forwards. And if you add to this the energy of eclipse season, when things can really happen very quickly, I'll be honest, I'm really curious to see how events actually emerge at this time, not just in our own personal lives, but also on a more global scale. The moon then moves into her disseminating or waning gibbous moon phase, and this runs from March the 26th through to April the 1st, and our beautiful moon will pass through Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius and into Capricorn. Now, when she moves from Libra into Scorpio, this is between the 26th and the 27th of March, we will get a 10-hour void of course period. So this is quite significant. And also, overall, even though the moon phase finishes on April the 1st, which is when Mercury stations direct, it's never a hard and fast kind of everything's moving forwards until the point where Mercury goes into retrograde. We have what we call a shadow period. So I would expect the energy during this entire moon phase to be sitting in that shadow period. So we may well see potential interruptions showing up. I kind of also feel like this period could be a bit of a karmic kind of destiny roller coaster, because on the one hand the moon is tuning in with some spikes of quite discordant energy, and yet in between there's a really lovely incoming flow that levels out with distinct periods of breathing space and room for steady progress. So it looks to me as if these peaks and troughs of karmic insight are literally arriving to bring you information that will enable you to clarify your personal values, followed by pockets of time when you can then take actions to align with these values. So depending on what is happening in the context of your own unique circumstances, if you find yourself having these moments of realizations, then just take your time to observe and notice. Remember that Mercury energy in retrograde. Slow it down, press the pause button, take a good look, because there will also then be opportunity for you to then respond, but with the advantage of heightened awareness. The moon then reaches her last quarter position on April the 2nd in Capricorn. So this is the half and half again. I feel like this is a day when the Mercury retrograde energy may really act as a kind of a support. Now, the energy of natural evaluation is always present at a last quarter moon position, and today there's a really solid feel to it with a flavour of determination and perseverance. And then literally as the day progresses, we see this kind of significant increase in forward motion with a call to make things happen. So whatever was shown to you at the full moon and whatever has been showing up in the ebb and flow, the peaks and troughs of the last moon phase, this is a really good day to get clear, make decisions and set an intent to commit and follow through in the knowledge that the universe is absolutely backing you for progress. The moon then enters what we call her balsamic moon phase or waning crescent moon phase. So we're moving from the last quarter right through until we reach the next new moon, which heralds a whole new moon month. Now this runs from April the 3rd to the 7th. She's going to pass through Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and then into Aries. Now looking at the overall dynamics and flow of lunar energy during this waning crescent moon phase, I feel like we are literally being invited to trust the universe. Despite the retrograde influence, there is a distinctly flowing energy with the potential for things to just happen and fall into place. So watch out for synchronicities. Now, if this is working for you and sort of signs and synchronicities are arriving and it feels as though the planets are just lining up on your behalf, then this is going to be absolutely amazing for you, especially as we are in eclipse season and things can happen very quickly. And this moon phase really does look to have this kind of potential. However, we have this interesting energy because Mercury is also in retrograde and plans sometimes do seem to go astray. Now, if this is the case and it sort of feels to you as though the planets are not lining up for you, then you are being asked to trust that everything is happening with purpose. It means that things are going astray or not happening for a good reason. You're needing to slow down and see something. This is definitely a time when the universe has the upper hand. So if something isn't moving forwards, don't try to make it happen. Give yourself permission to slow down and just enjoy the element of relaxation that seems to be present in the overall dynamics. We also have a 6-hour void of course period on April the 5th as well, when the moon is moving from Aquarius into Pisces. So be conscious of this as well. But I think this is a really interesting moon phase and we can do a lot with it if we have this level of awareness of the energy. And of course, this is the end of this moon month. We then have a new moon solar eclipse on April the 8th and 9th, depending on where you are in the world, in Aries. And I will talk about this in next month's moon month energy update. So beautiful souls, let's move into drawing cards for all zodiac signs. Aries, welcome. Let's draw a card, a moon card, to see what we are shown. That is your card. Listen to your intuition and then listen again. Now that's a really fascinating card given the retrograde shadow coming in and the Mercury in retrograde energy and the eclipse energy opening things up so you can see. Listen to your intuition, then listen again. What's the listen again about? Let's have a look at the runes. You have the rune of Perth, initiation. You have fertility, Ingers. This requires completion of beginnings. I think you're needing to almost review, take some steps and then review again. Rado, the rune of journey. You have the blank rune and you have the rune of gateway. How interesting. Aries, I'm seeing significant progress, almost as if you managed to shift actually from one space of being to another. Now, with the full moon in Libra, the eclipse energy, that's opposite you. And then the next moon month begins with your new moon eclipse. So this is a really dynamic time for you, very dynamic. I almost feel this moon month in the build up to your own eclipse moon, your own new moon. It's like you're being prepared, almost like you're being prepared for launch. That's actually what's coming through to me. I think there'll be quite a lot of what I would call crossing the T's and dotting the I's. Quite a lot of activity, even though we know that this moon month is also requesting a degree of reflection with the Mercury retrograde energy. I think you're going to be very productive. I think you are going to be one of the signs that is benefiting from the forward motion, benefiting from the clarity. But it is as if there is a rite of passage. It's taking you from a position where you are now to a position where you want to be, so you can then launch sort of even further into the world. So if there's anything that's holding you back, or not quite finished yet with the rune of fertility, it sometimes requires completion of beginnings. You might find in your world, my beautiful Aries, there are some things around you that have not yet reached their conclusion, like just little bits and pieces that need to be attended to. You could have a little bit of a list sitting somewhere where you're gradually, slowly but surely crossing things off, tidying things up. But the more you do that, it's like stage by stage. It's like you're clearing the way to be somewhere else, to launch into a whole new year. I mean, it's your year, your birthday. We have the 10 of Wands. I really am seeing sort of completions of things, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, paying particular attention to things. Your next card, we have the 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, be diligent, and then transformation will come. There's literally an opening that's being prepared for you energetically here, which kind of figures that sits with the energy of the eclipse. But I do think for you, my lovely Aries, I think this is very significant. It is literally as if you can cross the T's, dot the I's, close anything down or complete anything that needs completing this moon month, so that it's almost like you're free, you're unencumbered to then move forwards, to step through this gateway into this new space of possibility. So this is a busy, diligent kind of moon month, I think, for you, in anticipation of some serious sort of rockets being launched. Look at that with the moon, to take you higher, to take you further. Yeah, and look at these moons on these pillars here. And then the Ace of Wands. I would truly, my lovely Aries, be viewing this moon month for you. Let me move everything over so you can see your cards. I'd be viewing this moon month as an opportunity to pay attention to the details, to get it right. Literally, to be diligent is a word that keeps coming through. Listen to your intuition, then listen again. So attend to things, then attend to them again. Go back, double check. If you're creating something, if you're working on something, if you're manifesting something, I mean, let's say if you're creating something for starters, really be thorough, and then go back and check and double check. If you're trying to manifest something in your world, be very conscious of your thinking patterns. What are you actually putting into the universe? Give yourself a really regular review point. Listen to your internal dialogue. And then open yourself to receive. I think that come your new moon, the next new moon eclipse, the next moon month, this is really advising you. I think this is Spirit Source advising you almost to get ready. Do everything you need to do to be in a position to launch. And then launch you will. So whatever you are manifesting, whatever energetically you want to create in your world, I think it's going to take off like a rocket next moon month. And this is the time when you can be aware of everything that you need to be aware of, to attend to the details so that you're ready, you're primed. It's like preparing for the holiday of a lifetime, or preparing for the job of a lifetime. Whatever it is, I feel this is exactly that. It's preparation, closure of things, and then you are absolutely primed to take off when we get to the next moon month. This is so exciting. Beautiful Aries, this is your reading for this moon month. This is the flavour of the energy for you. I will be doing extendeds over on Patreon. As always, you are welcome to join me. Tons and tons of love, beautiful souls. Hello, lovely Taurus. Oh, wow, there is your card straight away, or two cards, in fact, your moon cards. And I'm going to throw some runes. Now, Taurus, the energy of this big Uranus-Jupiter conjunction is very relevant to you because it's in Taurus. So this is going to be huge for you in terms of the potential. What are we shown here for Taurus? Your own best efforts are all that's necessary to progress. Wonderful. Your inner voice is not always right. Okay, that's a really interesting connection, a really interesting pair of cards, I think, my lovely Taurus. Okay, in a way, you only have to do your best, but please, but also don't jump to conclusions. Don't make assumptions about anything. I'm really hearing here. Okay, so you have the rune of strength. I'm seeing you need to keep going with something here. Now, we know there's going to be an energy of review around. That's part of the energy of the flow, the overall flow. But things are moving forwards for you. We have Rado, the rune of journey. We've got Gateway and we have Othilla. This is like a rune of gain, of inheritance. It does suggest letting go of something as well. And then you have the rune of flow. I think the energy for you, Taurus, this moon month is sort of going to be one of perseverance, which then results in something just like moving forwards swimmingly. So I don't think you need to try and pressure yourselves into making something happen. I feel like there's something you want to happen. You just need to take this. This is like a it's like the energy of the ox, Taurus. This is represented in this rune. It's like your energy here in terms of, if you think of yourself as ploughing a field, if you were in an old-fashioned way going to plough a field, you don't want to be doing that at speed. It shouldn't be turbocharged. Just steadily keep going, and it's just going to happen. You know, it's going to flow. It's going to make the progress it needs. If you go at it like a bull in a china shop, I think it's just going to be more hassle than it's worth. So just keep going. There'll be moments to press the pause button and review and evaluate, but if you keep going steadily, I think you'll get to the end goal, whatever that is for your moon month. I really, really do. Let's draw some tarot cards for you as well. Yeah, there's a lovely steady energy around for you, my beautiful Tauruses. It really is. You don't have to worry about pushing something forwards. I do feel with this card, your inner voice is not always right. That there may be in something that you're trying to achieve, something that you're trying to get to the end goal with something this moon month. That's what I'm seeing here. And the guidance is that you don't have to force it. You just need to take it step by step, steady as she goes, literally. And that you may at some points feel like you're not going to get there, or you may feel it's not happening fast enough. There's kind of some anxiety around it, I think. That's what I'm seeing. And actually, there will be moments when you just need to pause and reflect. And don't worry, remove that perception that says it's not happening, or it won't happen, or it's never going to come into being. Just, you know, kind of like use those points as a position of review to make sure that the next step is the right one. It's simply about taking it slowly. It feels like a moon month of building for you. And what do we have? The Two of Pentacles flying out of the pack for you. Balance is what I'm hearing, and all in good time. All in good time. Yeah, rewards come to those who wait, or those who persevere with patience. It's not a question of waiting, it's a question of steady, balanced progress. You can't make this happen. It's going to happen in its own time. We have the Two of Swords. How interesting that we've got two twos showing up for you. What else do we have? We have these two cards I'm seeing, and this one. Let's look at these first. We'll probably draw some more. How interesting that you got two cards Okay, you're the first of the zodiac signs to get 2. Well, we've only done Aries, or I've only done Aries first, but how interesting that you've got 2, 2 and 2. 2 by 2. That's like going into the ark. It makes me think of Noah's Ark. The animals went in 2 by 2. So slow and steady, consistent progress. We have the card of the Lovers. Interesting because we have 2 people sitting here, something coming together. We have the 7 of Wands, wonderful, and then the 3 of Wands. How magical is that? So this is like holding course here. Review each time, each step you take, evaluate, review, and then stand in a position of real empowerment. You have the Lion here, the energy of the Lion. Can you see how things are coming alive here? So whatever you're manifesting, it's going to come alive. It's going to happen this moon month, but with systematic, slow, steady perseverance. That is what's needed here. And then lastly, absolutely, you have the groundbreaking moment, the Tower, when it all comes together. So my lovely Tauruses, I do see you manifesting something, working on something. It's very specific to you each individually. These are general readings, but slow, steady, step by step. Take time to review along the way. If something doesn't run smoothly, trust that it is showing you something with the 7 of Wands so you can make an appropriate choice. Don't get pissed off or angry about or frustrated that it's not happening. Just press the pause button and recognize there's something you need to see. It's actually there to keep you on track, not to throw you off track. You're going to get those sweet results with the 3 of Wands. You really are. You will get to that tower breaking moment when it's the breakthrough. It happens, it comes together. Yeah, I feel you've got quite a specific goal in mind, something happening that is really important for you, Taurus, and I do think it will come together. It's a lovely, lovely moon month for you, but just remember that whole, if you haven't checked in the bit where I've done the moon month and the introduction, where I've talked about the influences that are coming in, it's probably worth listening to those, because you know there is an influx of energy that could mean things don't run smoothly, but my goodness me, with purpose. It'll be because you need to make some important choices along the way. But this is going to happen. This is going to come together for you. So wonderful, wonderful Taurus. This is lovely. Beautiful souls, this is your reading. I'm seeing you actually accomplish whatever it is that you're aiming to accomplish this month, which is stunning. And I will be doing extended readings on Patreon. You're welcome to join me over there if you wish. Lovely Tauruses, have an amazing and very, very, actually kind of fruitful, ultimately, moon month. Hello, lovely Gemini. Welcome to your moon month reading. You have 2 cards coming through. So did Taurus. How interesting. Okay, lovely Gemini. We have, you are enough just as you are. When you put yourself center stage, it is easier to see the next step. Okay, so you really need to be conscious of what's right for you, my lovely Gemini. That's what I'm seeing here. You are enough just as you are. Don't let anybody stretch you or push you to be anything more than you are. Don't let anybody push you to, I don't know, have to give more than you're ready to, or there's just something going on in the energy around you. Have a look at your runes for this moon month. Okay, so we have showing, first of all, we have Hagelas, the rune of disruption, and also fertility. Okay, so there is a little bit of a testing going on around you, actually. It's almost slightly testing your boundaries, or testing you to, I don't know, kind of work out what's right for you and what isn't right for you, and make clear choices and decisions, really. We have Berkana, the rune of growth. We have, oh, wonderful, the Suelo, the rune of wholeness. Okay, yeah, a testing. And then we have protection, the rune of protection here. This is Algiz, and also the rune of strength, yeah. Okay, I feel that there's an energy where you're being sort of tested to hold your boundaries around something. That's what's going on this moon month for you, which is interesting because of course it's eclipse season, so things can happen very quickly. If you haven't checked out the energy update, I recommend it. It's like something's tested to, I don't know whether your buttons may be being pressed. I sort of feel like because of eclipse season and that energy, that turning point, and the equinox energy, equality, balance, I think that this moon month is bringing things into your world, or bringing a situation, a circumstance into your world. It may be around you already, where it's causing you to have to evaluate and almost like rein yourself in possibly, or evaluate the boundaries, to set the pace, to move forwards in a different way, approach things differently, like a significant turning point for you actually. Now you are being protected. I feel that this is quite emotionally charged for you. Let's draw some tarot cards. What else have we shown for my lovely Geminis? So we have these two, and I'm seeing this one. Yeah, Four of Pentacles. There's a review going on around you at the moment, or there's going to need to be a review. I think circumstances will come along that will cause you to have to review. It could be a health issue where you suddenly feel like something happens and you just can't maintain the pace of life that you're currently working with. Yeah, Five of Swords. You're going to have to bring something back into balance, and it is quite emotionally driven, this situation. But it's happening with purpose. Yeah. We've got the Chariot and we have the Ace of Cups. Okay. And we have the Seven of Cups. Right, my beautiful souls. Right, lovely Geminis, let's really, really get into your reading. You are enough just as you are. I feel like you're driving yourself very, very hard, or someone else is driving you, or circumstances are driving you. And I think something is coming in this moon month. It may even be around you already, where it causes you to stop, or to feel like you've got to break free from something, or you've got to let go of something, or you just can't keep going as you are. It comes to a head. And it is very emotional for you, but the purpose of this, and there is a bigger picture here, the purpose of this is so that you can now move forwards in a way that you have, where your choices are recognized here with the Seven of Cups, where you feel like you're being truly valued for your contribution. I almost feel like maybe there's some stepping over of boundaries. You're giving more than you're receiving, or you're stretching yourself. It may be you that's giving yourself a really hard time. Either that or circumstances are, or you're pushing yourself to live up to very big expectations. But, my beautiful souls, there is purpose. You might feel quite divided as well, my lovely Geminis, about this with the Moon and the Chariot too. But this is not a black and white situation. Well, I say that. I think you're feeling like it's more, I think some of you are feeling like it's more complicated than it is, interestingly enough. Curiously, I think if you just recognize that you are good enough as you are, and you don't have to keep stretching yourself, and you can get almost quite black and white about it. I mean, life isn't black and white, but nevertheless, I think you are having to draw some boundaries quite firmly in order to sort of progress and proceed on a different platform, almost as if something might even have to be renegotiated, the terms and conditions of something. If you've been working overtime and there's now an assumption that you'll always work overtime, well, you know, that's not viable, lovely Gemini. You can't do that. And what I'm seeing for your moon month is it sort of reaches a point where the shift has to occur. But this is actually really beneficial for you. It really, really is. And I think you have every ability to kind of to really put your case forwards here and establish a new direction. And the energy is primed to support you in establishing those boundaries in order to move forwards on a better footing. It's a very, very clear message for you, actually, my lovely Geminis. It really, really is. I see it as being profoundly positive. We know that the energy is shifting and there are openings coming. This is the portal of eclipse energy. The equinox, that turning point, calling for balance. And something in your world is not in balance, and this is why the circumstances around you are stretching you, pushing you to the point where you're having to do something about it. This is your reading, beautiful Geminis. This is the energy around you. I will be doing extended readings, and you are very, very welcome to join me if you wish. Beautiful Geminis, tons of love. Hello, lovely Cancer. Welcome to your reading. We're drawing a moon card for you first, and yours has flown out. Okay, so failure is a side effect of it's a side effect of effort and can be learnt from. Now that's a really interesting card. So what is going on around you that you feel is not, I don't know, quite happening, my lovely Cancers? Interesting. Or is it someone else's failure? Do you feel someone has failed you? Okay, so there is your first card. Failure is a side effect. Where do I want to put this? I'll put it here, I think, and let's lay out your runes and have a look at those first. So you have the rune of strength. You have the rune of partnership. This can also be a gift, Gibbous. You have breakthrough, Degas, Suelo, wholeness, and then you have Kano, the rune of openings. So what I see for your moon month is that something doesn't entirely run smoothly or to plan. Now, if you have just watched the energy update, then you will know that it is quite likely that things won't run smoothly. We're in eclipse season. There's going to be a Mercury in retrograde. This is really asking you to not take it to heart and to recognize, because it's not even just to recognize that there'll be a benefit. I think there's actually an opening being created for you, but it's being created because of it in a circumstance that may feel very unexpected. This is beautifully in alignment with the energy I've actually just been talking about at the beginning. If you haven't checked out that energy update, the introduction, it's probably worth your while to do so, lovely Cancers. But something isn't going to work out according to plan. But there's a purpose to it. It's actually going to take you in a different direction. For some of you, it could be literally an about turn, 180 degrees, taking you in a different direction. But it's going to change something for you because something didn't work out. But it's really meant to be. Your reading is very reassuring, even though it's kind of acknowledging that something isn't quite running smoothly. But it's absolutely, it's kind of like the universe stepping in and saying, you know, something isn't on track, you need to course correct, or you need to view it differently or perceive it differently. And then you will know exactly what to do and how to do it and where to go and when to go and all of those things. So something is being gifted to you in the form of something that you probably wouldn't have seen coming. Either it's unexpected or it just comes out of the blue, or somebody throws you a curveball, but something is coming that is not exactly what you would have expected. But there is major purpose to it because it's going to send you in a direction that you need to go in. I'm seeing these cards for you. I think we do want more. Yes. Yes. I do feel there is more for you. Yes, that's the one. Lovely. Let's put these three down here first and look at these first. So you have Queen of Wands. Yeah, this is about transformation. You have something needs to transform, and I almost want to say, and I think it's going to happen quite quickly. Yeah, if something needs to come back into balance, we have the card of Justice. You've got Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands. This is a very fast card, very fast energy, and Justice is about bringing things back into balance. We then have the Queen of Pentacles, which is gorgeous because this is about bringing stuff back into balance, seeing something for what it is. Queen of Pentacles, I just feel like she's actually, I always think she's the queen of self-care actually. She's very, very good at being steady, at manifesting. I think the outcome is going to be fabulous for you. In fact, I think the outcome will move something forwards in a way that will make you feel so much more whole or so much more complete. But it's not exactly what you were expecting, okay? Six of Pentacles. But it's going to put you in a really good position. This is one of those scenarios when something doesn't run to plan. But you know, after the event, the Magician. Six of Swords. Yeah, let's put these here. This is how this needs to be. I think after the event, you are going to look back at this and just think, I am so glad that happened. Okay. I'm so grateful that that happened, because one of those moments where in the future you'll look back and you'll think, do you know, if that hadn't happened, this wouldn't have happened, and I wouldn't have been here, and I wouldn't have met that person or done that thing or seen that something. It's one of those scenarios. Now, it does feel quite heated and quite quick. So this may have happened already. It may be that something hasn't worked out already and the energy is around you and you're contemplating how to persevere. For many of you, it connects to a somebody, to people, because this is a relationship rune. But in all honesty, the move forwards is really important. In fact, for some of you, I think you may have been persevering with something for quite a while. Persevering in a situation or a relationship or a circumstance that ultimately, I think it just hasn't been balanced. It hasn't really, it's never felt quite right. I think there's been passion, there's been excitement, and it has been life-changing for you. You've learned, you've grown. But I do think you know in your heart of hearts that it's probably not quite right for you. All sorts of passions drove you or ignited a particular feeling. But something is coming to a head and it needs to come back into balance, because I think something more solid needs to come to you and will come to you, something far more solid. For some of you, you may even be facing a choice between something that feels quite fiery and passionate versus something that feels very giving and very loving. But the choices will be made, the breakthrough moment will come. I think something will happen to give you that information, to create that space of choice, to empower you, to give you the wisdom to know where you're going with this, or to know where you want to go. And I do see many of you, I do think you are leaving something behind that isn't working, something hasn't worked out. But the shift is coming this moon month, that's absolutely for sure. I think the shift is coming. It may feel a bit of a descent into sort of, you know, having to make really quite clear choices. But truly, I think this is, bearing in mind the whole energy of this moon month is all about right action, stepping up rather than down. My lovely Cancers, I think the choices that you are making here, this is about following your heart and knowing that when something doesn't work out, it is absolutely not the end of the world. Genuinely, something that doesn't work out for you right here and right now or in the coming moon month is happening because there is something so much better coming for you. And truly, honestly, you will look back and just think, I can't believe I ever stayed as long as I did, or I tried to persevere for as long as I did. It will become so clear to you and so apparent so quickly. It's almost as though there is a rite of passage being provided for you to create this shift and to move. And this is in line with the eclipse energy, where it's a portal where you can review and see what got you to where you are and what changes you need to make right here and right now to bring about the future that you desire. And I think there's quite a big decision to be making here, Cancer, actually. But the breakthrough moment will come, my beautiful souls, and I am seeing you guided through this. Absolutely. You'll be so clear about the direction and the pathway you're on by the end of the moon month. And I do think you will just know in your heart of hearts that the choice that you made was right. This is what I am seeing. Beautiful Cancers, you are very welcome to join me for the extended readings over on Patreon if you wish. We'll dive into the information far more for you. So beautiful souls, we'll find out much more about what this is about. Tons of love, my beautiful Cancers, and I look forward to seeing you again for some other readings and some moon month updates. Beautiful souls, this is going to shift in the right direction for you. You are truly, truly going to look back at this and think, this was so the right decision to make. Tons of love, my beautiful Cancers. Lovely Leo, welcome to your reading. We're going to draw you, I was going to say we're going to draw you a card. We're drawing you two. Most definitely. Look at them rocking up for you. So we have two cards for you. These are moon cards. So you have two full moon cards. We have problems provide opportunities to grow and learn. And a mistake is something to learn from. Okay, so this does sort of suggest from the get-go, my beautiful Leos, that something is possibly not running quite as smoothly as you would like. Okay. So what's going on? I think we had better draw more cards. Now we do know that this is potentially quite a hectic, possibly hectic, I mean very productive, potentially very positive moon month, but we do know that things may go astray. It doesn't mean that, you know, a problem is a crisis. It's probably something that is really, really needed to bring something about that is important for you. Let's have a look and see what your runes are first off. Lots of runes coming out for you, my beautiful Leos. You have the rune of defense. You have the rune of harvest, Jira. You have the rune of gateway. You have the rune of Othilla. Separation, inheritance, gain. You have the rune of flow. You have the rune of the spiritual warrior, and you have the rune of breakthrough. This is fascinating, my beautiful Leos. There's a really distinct flow of energy, a massive, massive shift suggested here for you. Now, it seems to me, and this energy may already be being around you at the time that you are tuning into this reading, that there are some things around you that are feeling a little bit tricky, that you're wondering how best to navigate a situation. It may be some of you are feeling a little bit defensive. I'm just picking up on an energy that says, you actually know what you want, but you don't quite know how to get there. That's what's really coming through here. Now, I think at some point with inheritance gain coming in here, that something is going to come in that will enable you to make a clear-cut decision. Almost as if, like for example, if you were waiting, let's say you wanted to move house or join a course or do something, and you know what you want to do, but you're really struggling to get there. It's just, or you're trying to get from A to B and it's not running smoothly. It's like the resources you need or a gift arrives, something arrives that means everything starts to shift and flow forwards. And when it does arrive, I think it could even be a piece of information that you need with Gateway. It gives you what you need to be able to create that shift, to move forwards, to make the move, to make a clear-cut decision. It's like a eureka moment, a breakthrough moment. And of course, this is what eclipse energy is about. Mercury in retrograde slows us down. If you haven't checked out the energy update, I would strongly suggest doing so. It's a very, very, very interesting month. Let's draw tarot cards for you, my lovely Leos, and see what else we're shown. What is this breakthrough and what is going on here? May we ask for a little bit more information for my lovely Leos. So we've got the Magician first and foremost. Now this is suggesting that you will be able to do what you want to do. You're not going to be without agency. And the Ace of Pentacles and the resources you come are going to, that you need to be able to do this, whether it's energy, whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's assistance, help. The resources you need are coming to you to actually create this shift. I think you already know what you want. I just think there's this feeling of kind of something just isn't happening. It may be that there's a greater purpose. Well, there's always a greater purpose if something isn't happening, but I'm kind of questioning with Gateway whether maybe maybe there is something else you're needing to see before you can move forwards, or something better is coming for you. So we have the card of Justice. We have the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Swords. So we are seeing a very real and solid shift happening here. Seeing you weigh things up. I think the reason that maybe things aren't shifting forwards, problems provide opportunities to grow and learn. A mistake is something to learn from. I think the reason something isn't shifting, or you've either that, or maybe some of you have taken an action and now you feel that it was perhaps either the wrong thing, or it's like kind of moving house and then thinking, you know, like you find somewhere and then you think, actually, I don't know whether this is the right area. You're going to be given agency and the means to move in a direction that's right for you, to make a clear-cut choice. I don't feel you're tied into anything as such, Leo. I feel there is the energy of transition around you. I mean, perhaps for some of you, there is a sense of being tied in, but I'm seeing the energy much more about here is it's about movement. It's much more about movement, moving forwards. What else do we have here? Just to give us an idea of how your moon month is flowing. Wow, you have Three of Wands. Do you know, this is so interesting because we got your first two cards and I thought, wowza, you know, these are big cards really in the scheme of things, but seriously, wow. I get the impression really from your reading that the problems or the feeling that you're not going to get to where you want to go, or the concerns about getting to where you want to go, I feel they're very much around you already. I don't feel it's something that rocks up during this moon month. I think you are already moving something forwards. You're already in transition. You know what you want to, you know what the desired result is. The challenge here is that the initiations that you've already created to make these changes haven't run smoothly. But I am seeing a big opportunity coming to you. It's exactly that. The resources you need arrive so that you can make a clear-cut decision. If you're undergoing any form of legal arrangements or contract signing or anything like that, the resources will come, the information will come to you that you need to be able to be very clear about and literally to shift and move forwards. And I'm seeing celebration with the Three of Wands here. So I think you're going to reach a point where you are literally celebrating. It'll be that eureka moment. And we have the Five of Wands. How interesting. Because as Five of Wands go, and then the Queen of Wands, as Five of Wands go, I actually feel this is a quite a beautiful energy. I think you'll get what you want, actually. Beautiful souls. I do think there'll be a point of review after it. You know, when you do get the resources you need and you do, I don't know, let's say you move house or you do whatever it is that you wanted to do. But then there's a point of that landing point where it's almost like you're needing to physically adjust. All that work and effort has gone into making this possible, and now you're here. You've got to now sort of adjust to what that's really like, the reality of it. I do feel there is some element of loss for some of you. Perhaps you are making a choice to move away from something, to move out, to move away. But I do see you getting to where you want to be in this moon month. I don't think at the start of the month it's plain sailing, my beautiful Leos, but I think it is by the end. Though there's, in fact, even sooner than the end, I'm seeing you actively moving forwards, taking something forwards and being given what you need for this to be possible. However, I do think then there's almost like the emotional residue. It's like sort of if you were, for example, departing a relationship, letting go of something or someone, and just what you need arrives to make that possible, and it's exactly what you wanted, you get the outcome, but then there's a sort of a level of, whoa, you know, I've now landed, and there's a point of that, of reviewing the energy when once you have landed, reviewing your choices. You know, I do feel for some of you there's quite a big leaving of something, departing from something here. But my beautiful Leos, what you actually need to make this possible is coming to you. It could be a job offer, whatever it is. Practical support from someone. If you've been low on energy, your health increases, your vitality increases. However we look at it, I'm seeing you get to where you want to be. And this feels super fab actually for you, Leo, because I feel it's something you've been struggling to actually make happen. And this is the moon month, of course, where the energy is primed for breaking things open and moving them forwards. So I think, you know, this for you is a really positive shift ahead, actually, my lovely Leos. I really do feel with the Queen of Wands here, you're going to be at the top of your game, but I also feel there will be some element of emotions attached to it, because you're going to be reviewing, looking back and thinking, you know, I mean, if you leave something, there's a sadness that it didn't work out. It's completely normal, completely natural, and that's what I'm seeing here. And then, of course, we'll move into the next moon month, which has the really big dynamic Uranus-Jupiter conjunction, which is going to expand everything. So this is in many ways going to give you the shift you need right now to be ready for the bigger expansive piece of growth that can be initiated in the next moon month. Beautiful Leos, this is your moon month reading. I will be doing extendeds over on Patreon. You are very, very welcome to join me if you wish. Tons of love, beautiful souls. Hey, my lovely Virgos, welcome to your reading. Let's have a look and see what's happening to you this month. We have, give your creativity the space it needs to flourish. That's a rather cool card. I'm enjoying that card for you already. Let's see what else we are showing. What runes are showing up for you? Okay, so first off, you have the rune of wholeness, Suelo. Give your creativity the space it needs. I'm really focusing on the word need. There's a need around you, and it does feel like a need rather than just a desire. It feels like there's a bit more, it's not exactly urgency, but something wants to come forth here. It's like some part of you is trying to have a voice. We have the rune of initiation, Perth. There's something is trying to move forwards, and I feel like you're possibly slightly at odds with yourself a little bit, Virgo. Perhaps not quite ready to make a clear-cut decision about something, even though you kind of know that maybe, you know, you want to do something. We have, the rune of defense. How interesting. And then we have the rune of breakthrough. Lovely. This rune keeps showing up, and I think it is just because the energy is primed for breakthrough moments, which is just magnificent. Okay, beautiful souls. So lovely Virgos. I think there is an option available to you. It's like a creative solution or a creative possibility, or it could be a creative project or a creative direction. There is a direction, a pathway that you could follow. And I think there's been a lot of deliberation around whether to take it or not. It's almost as if you've been going through this little process of trying to work out whether to do this, or it's almost like, I can't say do I stay or do I go, you know, but there's an element of that here for some of you. I'm hearing that song, isn't it? Should I stay or should I go? It's that kind of flavour. That won't be right for all of you, but there is a decision or a choice or a very specific direction. The curious thing is, it really is going to feel right for you. I think you know it feels right. There's a wholeness about it. Sense of almost like a homecoming is the word that's coming through. Now, I think in this moon month, you're probably going to reach a point where you make that decision. almost as if you really, really just know that you need to do this. You need to do it. It feels right. It's the right thing to do. I think there's been some sort of debate going on, but this is the time when I think you just know that if you do, it's going to give you the opportunity to flourish in a way that maybe where you are right now, or some aspect of your world right now, it isn't allowing you to flourish, or certainly not creatively anyway. This is all about creativity, finding your expression. And there is a direction you can go in that will give you that, actually. Let's draw tarot cards. What are we showing for my lovely Virgos? How is this going to sort of manifest? What's coming through? So we have the Seven of Pentacles. So I'm seeing you having choices here. There are choices around you. I think this is already around you, the choice, the decisions. Maybe for some of you, it's almost like there's too many choices. This is suggesting with the Six of Pentacles that you narrow your choices down. Okay. And then focus on the one that actually feels like, I want to say, that's going to bring you the most abundance, but creatively. And the Empress is a card of abundance. She's a card of motherhood. I said I felt some of you felt like there was a homecoming almost. It's a very homey card. But it's also a card of creativity. The Empress is very creative. There's a creative avenue, a direction that you can go in. And I think it's right for you, actually. I really do. It appears to be being shown as correct. Yes, that there's a need for transformation, for rebirth, for that new direction. What's happening to my lovely Virgos? What is happening indeed? I think during this moon month, you will sort of reach a point where you know you need to make a choice. And in a funny old way, do you know what? I think there's only one way to go. So the choice won't be so difficult when you get there. I just feel it's going to, something's going to rock up, and it will be so clear that this is the direction, because it gives you the space to create, to flourish, actually. And I think there will be this transition, and I think you will see the early stages of this actually kind of, you know, when things just fall into place. I think you'll see the early stages of something falling into place. Yes, you have the star, and it's absolutely going to give you that North Star. Look at the star above the Empress as well. I think it's going to give you that space of hope, optimism. You're going to start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. For those of you that might be feeling like you're in a bit of a quagmire or wading through treacle, and if you're not feeling like that, but things are going well, there's a path you're going to follow, an opening. There are choices available to you. There's something very creative that you can embark upon. And it will become quite clear to you in this moon month. It's a creative solution. Yes, Ace of Swords. And once you've seen it in great clarity, my lovely Virgos, I think, to be honest, you'll just reach a point where you know it's the right direction. I think there's been a bit of pondering, a bit of debating, a bit of shall I, shan't I, should I, shouldn't I, shall I, shan't I, should I stay or should I go, that kind of, but you know, should I take this opportunity or not, you know, should I stay as I am? There's lots of deliberating going on. And what I think happens this moon month is that basically the pathway becomes clear. The route becomes clear. You can see that there is one option that carries the greatest opportunity, the greatest hope, the greatest potential for you to then be able to kind of express yourself, live creatively. And I think once this becomes really apparent to you, it's almost like then your mind will be made up. That's the breakthrough moment. You may not actually sort of, if we think of this as a going from A to B, that Perth initiation rune, like a rite of passage, you may not get to the end goal, but I think in this moon month you will reach a very clear decision, and and you'll know where you're going. The direction will be clear. So it would be like choosing universities if you're debating, looking at courses for the next academic year, and you're really not sure, should I do this one or should I do that one? And actually this moon month will bring information to you, or enable you to see with clarity what all of your choices are about, and see which one you can genuinely tell is going to be the most fruitful one, which one is going to sort of resonate with you, which one will give you the most creative environment, because you're a creative soul. And once you sort of start to know that and see it, I do feel doorways will open for you to make this begin to be possible. I mean, with universities, it would be like putting that particular one as your first choice, and bingo, it comes back and you get your first choice. So now you know you're on that voyage, you know that's your confirmed place, you know where you're going now, you have a clarity of direction. If you were thinking of moving house and there's more than one location to go to, you might have been deliberating. I think you're going to get to a point where you can really see clearly. You've weighed all the options up, lots of different potentials have shown up, and it's like, do you know what, this is the route that's going to give me, this is the location that's going to give me the space to really express myself creatively. So that's the pathway I'm taking, that's the move I'm going on. This is the flavour of your reading, lovely Virgos. Beautiful souls, I think it looks to be a very exciting time for you, in that some things that maybe are feeling a bit up in the air are you're going to get really clear about them. Lovely Virgos, this is your reading. I think it's an amazing moon month. You're going to get to the breakthrough moment, and by the end of the moon month, getting ready for that rocket of energy with the Uranus-Jupiter conjunction next moon month on April the 20th, I think you'll be in a zone to take full advantage of that expansive energy, because you'll know by the end of this moon month what your choice is and where you are going and what the next stage of your growth is. So my lovely Virgos, beautiful souls, you are very welcome to join me in the extended readings on Patreon if you would like to get some greater detail and greater information. But otherwise, thank you so much for being here, and I really look forward to seeing you for some other readings soon here on YouTube. Lovely Libras, let's have a look and see what is happening for you this month. Mark each day's end with gratitude. Okay, what a beautiful energy. Okay, lovely Libra, let us check in and see what else we are showing. What are your runes showing you? A ton of runes coming out for you, my beautiful Libras. Okay, so what's actually showing first of all? We have the rune of fertility. Okay, lovely. Ingus, we have Hagalaz, the rune of disruption. This is Uranus, the great awakener. This is the energy of Uranus. And of course we are building up to the big Uranus-Jupiter connection. And we have the rune of the self. I feel you guys are already doing quite a lot of soul searching. I feel that you're already in a zone where you are really thinking, with Suelo as well, you're really thinking about which way you want to go. I think you have possibly been sitting in a major zone of, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What do I want my life to be looking like? A massive, massive review point. And I don't think this is brand new. I think this has been already happening. Now we are entering eclipse season in this moon month, and it's your full moon. Lunar eclipse, March the 25th in Libra, your sign. Wow, is what I want to say. I genuinely feel, my beautiful Libras, that you've almost probably energetically been tuning in for a little while with a lot of review, a lot of soul searching, a lot of peeling back the layers, a lot of looking ahead as well. I don't think it's just looking back, I think it's looking ahead. I feel like that energy is around you. Feel it very, very strongly coming through here. And this reading is really talking about centering yourself at the end of each day in gratitude, because gratitude is one of the highest vibrations. And it's kind of like, if that's the energy around you, then whatever you are thinking about in terms of planning, wanting to manifest, wanting to bring in, the universe is able, it's like basically it opens doorways for you. What else do we have? We have gateway. It's a doorway. We then have breakthrough. Wow. Then we have Othilla. This is a rune of inheritance, but also separation, gain. And then lastly, we have the rune of Perth, initiation. What a stunning collaboration. Okay. I sort of feel right off the bat that you are, rather like the energy, you personally, Libra, are in a zone that is primed for the potential for breakthroughs and new beginnings. And some of them are quite radically different, taking you down a pathway. It will be something you really, really want, but it will be radically different to the kind of stuff you have been putting up with, living with, doing. There's like a departure from the way things have been. I do think this has been, for some of you, really more of a slow and gradual awakening than a sudden awakening. I think it's been happening for quite a while. Probably quite a lot of different circumstances rocking up that show you what is working and what isn't. But now you are in this zone of initiation, of like a rite of passage through to where you want to be. I feel like your power, and by power I'm talking empowerment. I'm not talking power over others, power over yourself, power over your environment, power over your circumstances. This is what's shifting, Libra. Mark each day's end with gratitude. There's quite a quickening energy around you here with Perth, this rite of passage. Even though other people will come with you, you know, those that are meant to still be in your life will remain in your life, and relationships will get bigger and better. And those that are not meant to stay, that no longer resonate with you, will be departing, I feel. Very big turnaround here. This is the energy we're seeing. But my goodness me, you are really finding your way. It's very, very personal to you. Some people will stay, some people will go, but it's kind of like you are now on your own course and you know it. That's what this feels like. Maybe we get some additional cards, additional information, additional guidance for this moon month for lovely Libras, please. Two of Pentacles is showing up for you. We have also the Fool showing up. Well, look at that just as a starting point. Seven of Cups. Yeah, you are starting to own your own choices. You're recognizing what you want, what works for you. I mean, you are angels, earth angels of peace, lovely Libras. You like balance, you like peace, you like harmony. You're not interested in confrontation, anything that doesn't gel with you. You are, I think, with great clarity wanting to move away from it. I think you know what you want. You want balance, you want harmony, you want peacefulness. And I think you're prepared to sort of now go for it, actually. And therefore the energy is primed for these breakthroughs. What else are we shown for my lovely Libras? We have the card of Strength. We have the Ten of Swords. How interesting. And there we also have the Prince of Wands. You're ready to go for it. I almost feel like, lovely Libras, I mean, you are very gentle souls. You like peace, you like harmony, you don't want to rock the boat. But I kind of feel like there's been a bit of a resurrection going on around you here. You're looking at the long-term future. Two of Pentacles is like a sign of infinity. The Strength, we have the sign of infinity. You're looking ahead, and you've been looking ahead for a little while, lovely Libras. It's been coming through in your readings. You are quite clear, really, about what you do and don't want, I think, really, in your world. And I think you're sort of prepared to go for it. Whereas I think there was a time when you wouldn't have stepped out of your comfort zone. my lovely Libras. I think this moon month is the time when you actually do exactly that. It's like you've kind of known, you've thought about it, you've debated, do I want this, shall I try that? This is the point where you are kind of going for it. And I want to say, I think it's going to pay off, okay? I'm seeing your energy shift. I'm seeing you take a hold of your life and of saying, do you know what? I want to go for this. I want to go for that. I know what I want now. I don't care what I let go of and what I leave behind, because those things don't resonate with me. I say I don't care. I don't mean it in a non-caring way. It's like you're not prepared to live with stuff that no longer resonates with you. And it's not that you're wishing any harm to anyone. You guys are so peaceful, so balanced. It's just that you're choosing to be what you want to be, and choosing to go for the quality of life that you personally desire, as opposed to accepting limitations or putting up with stuff that just isn't you. I think your moon month is going to be phenomenal, Libra. Actually, absolutely phenomenal. I think we're seeing a serious progression, a turnaround, moving from a place where you've been debating, looking, weighing up, considering, to a place where you actually start to take action. It does feel like a resurrection, a rising from the ashes. And I think it's going to pay, beautiful souls. Seriously going to pay. It's like you found the inner strength, the confidence to take this forwards. If anything, I think some of you have possibly had to deal with a bit of shit, really, and a bit of crap, which is partly what's caused you. And for some of you, it's been quite a lot of crap. Okay, let's just put this into context. For some of you, it might be a little bit. For some, it's been quite a lot. And in all honesty, I think it's caused you to really, every time it's happened, even though it might have dented you in the moment, I think you've come away and it's caused you to get even more real with yourself and say, do you know what? That's not okay. I'm not doing that anymore. You know, I feel you've got to that point of thinking, do you know what? I am worth more than that. And this is what we're seeing. It's like a resoluteness here to actually say, do you know what? I am moving away. I'm doing this. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing this. I won't have that anymore. I'm not going to get into a confrontation. That's not me. But I'm choosing something different. And this is a space of serious empowerment for you. Mark each day's end, beautiful souls, with gratitude, because that high vibration will really assist you in attracting and bringing in the elements for your world that you are desiring. I think you're going to have a phenomenal moon month, my lovely Libras. I really do. It is. It's like you shift from a space of feeling like you sort of, you know what you want, but you're not really prepared to go for it, or you haven't had the energy to go for it, to a point where you just do. Wow, I think the energy is really with you, lovely Libras. Not surprising, given that it's your full moon eclipse on March the 25th. So this is a biggie. Now, beautiful souls, this is the energy of the month for you. It's phenomenal. If you wish to join me for the extended readings over on Patreon, you are very welcome to. But I honestly think you are going from strength to strength, quite honestly, beautiful souls. So however this is manifesting in your own personal world, my beautiful Libras, have an amazing month. Tons and tons of love to you, and I look forward to seeing you again for some other readings really soon. Lovely Scorpios, welcome to your reading. What's happening for Scorpio? A mistake is something to learn from. This card is coming up in quite a few of the readings. How fascinating. We have a whole pack here, and yet up it comes. So there's obviously a big review going on. Now, we know that the energy is primed for review at the moment. This is, well, part of eclipse season. It's part of the energy of preparation for this incredible dynamic connection between Uranus and Jupiter, when things get shaken up a little bit, but everything is going to be expanding potentially for the better. So I feel what I'm seeing something that's almost quite consistent in all of these readings is the energy of review and evaluation, so we have an opportunity to be on the best possible footing to take advantage of this incredible energy of expansion that's coming. Now, what is this about for my lovely Scorpios? Lots of runes for you. So what we have here, first of all, we have the rune of partnership, Gibbous. This is also the rune of a gift. And then you have the rune of joy. How lovely. These are two of the most beautiful energies possible. Now, if you feel you've made a mistake, or you've got something wrong, or you've said something and you wished you hadn't said it, I feel like the energy is primed for you to put that right. Okay, or even if it's only addressing it within yourself, but if it's about speaking with someone else, then that could also be the case. We have the rune of gateway. There is as we have the rune of Isa. This is standstill, ice, Isa, standstill, ice. Sometimes we have movement. We have Perth, initiation. So Aries and Perth, and then we have fertility. Okay, Ingas and breakthrough. And this rune keeps coming out. I mean, the energy is primed for breakthroughs, turnarounds. It's eclipse season, isn't it? We're going to be able to see, to look at the past, to see where we've come from, where we're going, and what we want to do. Let's look in depth at your runes. Partnership, joy, gateway. Curiously enough, my lovely Scorpios, I actually feel that although you're going to get the kind of breakthrough moment that you desire, I think the energy is primed for you. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. What I also feel is that you may need to take your time in potentially looking at how you navigate something. I'm seeing you reach a breakthrough point. I'm seeing you reach that light bulb moment. I'm seeing you reach that point of clarity where there's a serious turnaround. I'm seeing you move into a space of transition. However, and with great joy, with a wonderful amount of joy coming through for you. If you've had any fallings out in relationships or any disagreements, or just whether it's even a disagreement with yourself, whether you invested in something and you didn't feel it really came to fruition, you know, you'll be able to address it. Curiously enough as well, I think some things are going to come to fruition that you've already invested in. And I think, in fact, actually that's a stronger message. I mean, lots of different messages will come through. It's a general reading. I actually think, Scorpio, the stronger message, which therefore possibly means it's for more of you, is I think something you've been working on does come to fruition. And you've then got to think about how you move it forwards. You know, when something reaches an initial stage of promise, you've then got to sort of really think about how best to take this forward to get the greatest result from it. It would be like starting a new project and it's going amazingly. And then it reaches this point of what I would call initial culmination. And you've then got to work out how you're going to continue with it, how you're going to take it forwards. And I think you'll spend a bit of time this moon month actually discovering what that next stage is going to be about. I don't think it's something new. I think it's something you've already been investing in, or something you've already been working on. Let's draw more cards. May we have additional cards, please? We have, oh wow, so Three of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Now the Three of Wands it just describes exactly the energy that I've just been talking about. This is exactly that energy whereby we've reached an initial stage of something. Something is doing well, something is taking off, it's transforming, but there's still more to be done. And the Knight of Wands is a seriously happening energy. It's a fast energy. So I'm seeing something evolve and emerge quickly. We then have Five of Swords, yeah, where I think you have to stop and think about how you want to take this forwards. Choices will need to be made. We have the card of the Lovers. So if this is to do with relationship, for some of you, if this is love, you know, if you have met someone and you're really thinking about, you know, do you want to take it to the next level, for example, you'll be taking your time, I think, to sort of make the right choice. But I think you will make quite a life-changing decision, Scorpio. That's what I'm seeing. Like a commitment to something. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. You're going to want to take something forward in a very, very real way. It has great emotional meaning to you. Okay, so whether this is a project or a business connection, or indeed it's love, it has a very, very deep personal, emotional connection for you. For some of you, maybe something, you did feel something went wrong and you've actually been trying to put it right. And this is the moon month when you do get to put it right. Perhaps an apology is accepted and therefore you can move forwards and look at how you move on into the future. Or you've invested in something, you're fearful of or thoughtful about how you're going to invest because you don't want to invest in the wrong way. But I think you come to a conclusion after stopping and considering what's going on. You make the right choice to really, you basically make a commitment to something here. This is what I'm seeing. Five of Pentacles. How interesting. This is such a positive Five of Pentacles. It's kind of like whatever has happened in the past, I feel, with the Five of Pentacles. You do see, it's almost like you start to look through a lens of possibility. That's what I'm seeing here. Yeah, you're prepared to learn from mistakes. Yep, absolutely. In fact, I think you have learned from mistakes, and you're therefore, it's like you're in a very different zone here, my lovely Scorpios. There's a lot of evaluation going on here in order to make sure that you don't repeat a pattern. I'm seeing that here. But my goodness me, I do feel you make some sort of a commitment here. There's a breakthrough moment where you absolutely make a commitment to take something forwards, or even you're either setting off in a new direction or you are taking something forwards, building upon it, but there is a commitment to a certain pathway. And part of it, part of your commitment has come from the learning from things that didn't kind of work out, or indeed if you have invested in something and it's now working out, you're like, right, okay, this is working so far so good. Where do I go with it now? How can I make sure that I'm on solid ground? So you spend time reviewing. But I am seeing this looking very favorable for you, my beautiful Scorpios. I'm seeing an upgrade to some sort of commitment to a pathway of fertility. But it really is, it's as though you've consolidated some sort of learning from the past, and you're therefore able to not take something forward that could go wrong. Just a commitment to doing it differently. This is what I'm seeing. I'm loving your energy, my lovely Scorpios. It feels very loaded with possibility, like you're moving into a zone of possibility. I'm not saying the whole moon month will run smoothly. I think there'll be periods of pause, of stopping, of reviewing. But rightly so. It's almost as though you've gained the wisdom to stop and pause and review rather than rush forwards. Yeah, you're going to be weighing things up, thinking about Eight of Cups. Yeah, thinking about how to proceed, what you need to, it's your choices, your decisions. I feel there's a real need or a desire on your part not to repeat the mistakes of the past. So I said Eight of Cups, Five of Cups, you've got two fives here. And with Isa, the rune of ice, I'm not saying this month is going to sail forwards. I think you're going to want to sail forwards, but you're also by necessity going to need to be reviewing along the way. But the overall motion is moving forwards. The overall energy is about making a commitment to make choices and seeing them through. And I do feel that right at the center of this is this learning curve. A mistake is something to learn from. And with that in mind, I think you'll succeed, my beautiful Scorpios. The breakthrough moment will come. Yeah, lots of choices, lots of decisions. It's like every big choice, every big commitment involves lots of little steps. Each one is another layer of choices. And I'm seeing you taking those steps and learning as you go. Really with awareness, my lovely Scorpios. Beautiful souls. This is your reading. I think the energy is quite profound for you. You're very welcome to join me for the extendeds on Patreon, when I will draw additional cards and we'll look in depth at what this is about. But the overall energy flow, it may not be plain sailing, my lovely Scorpios, but as long as you review along the way, I'm seeing you. In fact, I think there will be events that come along to cause you to have to review, but really worthy of helping you to make the right choices and the right decisions and to move something forwards in a way that will really assist you. Lovely Scorpios, tons of love. Thank you so much for joining me. And I so look forward to seeing you again for some other readings really soon. Hey, lovely, lovely Saggies. Let us see what is happening in your moon month. Don't let past events colour your vision of your future. Okay, beautiful Saggies. What is happening for you? Let's draw a big handful of runes and check this out. Oh, there is a big handful coming out for you. Wow. Okay. Don't let past events colour your vision of your future. You have the rune of constraint, Nathus, and you have the rune of strength. Now, both of these are showing up first. Very interesting energy, really, of the rune of constraint, because I kind of feel, on the one hand, it's kind of just says that you're going to need to have some patience here. You know, cross the T's, dot the I's. When fishermen can't go to sea, they mend their nets. On the other hand, yeah, you might need patience, but being diligent is going to pay. But don't get nitpicky either. Don't let past events colour your vision of the future. I think you're going to need to persevere with something, okay? Yeah, you have Isa, the rune of ice. So persevere, remove any obstacles from within, and because the ice is going to have to melt. Now, I don't know what this is about yet, but the ice is going to need to melt. And I think you're going to have to pay attention to some details to make the ice melt. Okay, now you have the rune of journey, Rado. You've got the rune of defense as well. This is Awaz. You've got Hagalas. You've got breakthrough. This rune has come out in pretty much, or both of these are really showing up a lot, but this rune of breakthrough in pretty much every reading. You've got the rune of harvest, and then you have signs, the rune of signals, signs, signals, synchronicities. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, lovely Sagittariuses. Don't let past events colour your vision of your future. Don't let the past get in the way of moving forwards. I think there may be an energy coming in. Now, we're entering eclipse season. We know this. Eclipse season is a portal where we can see the past, how it's affecting the present, so that we can rewrite the future. And I think exactly that is present for you in some part of your world. We'll draw tarot cards to find out more. But I think this is actually saying, don't let something block you. It's really, really clear. Don't let something block you from having what you want. Don't let the past stop you from having the future you desire. The rune of journey, Rado. Now, it could mean that some of you are traveling. You are on a journey, in which case, if there are disruptions, Hagalas, remember this is with purpose. That's the energy of the overall flow of the Mercury in retrograde energy, the moving into eclipse season. I do want to say though, if you haven't checked out the energy update, it's probably worth your while doing so. Very, very powerful couple of months that we have. Now, any interruptions are here with purpose. They're here to tell you something, to take you forward to a harvest, not to cause a problem for you, but to give you signs and signals so you progress to what you really want. So it's like, don't interpret something as being, I kind of want to say, oh gosh, this is just happening again. You know, although you may be going, some of you journeying, that's where I was voicing a minute ago, I went off on track, but Rado also means journeying within and removing the obstacles from within that could stop you from proceeding. Yeah, your emotions could get the better of you here, you know, with Awaz, the rune of defense. It's very emotional energy. Let's draw tarot cards. What is this about for my lovely Saggies? I sort of see you being guided here. Being guided through to a breakthrough moment that's going to build you something that will give you a longer term sustainable future. And yet you're being advised, it's quite a strong advised here, really, the guidance here, which is interesting, because not all the readings show a guidance. It's like a flavour of energy, but I feel yours is a guidance, not to let the past block you from receiving the future that you wish to build for yourself. We have the Queen of Wands, so I'm seeing you manifesting something that you've actually wanted. Something starting to come through for you. We have the Ten of Wands. Okay, you've waited a long time for this. We've also got the Nine of Swords. Yeah, I think this is something is coming through for you. You've really, really wanted this for a long time. And it's almost like now it arrives. I think you're questioning whether or not it can actually be real. That's what I'm seeing here with these cards. Can you allow yourself to believe it's real when you've had so many disappointments in the past over something that you really want? Seven of Wands. This is going to, do you know, the challenge isn't having the thing, it's believing that it can be okay. It's having it and allowing yourself to have it, knowing that it can be all right. We have the Three of Cups. We've got a card of celebration. Now, what else are we showing? Okay, wow. Loving the way your cards are flying out. Yep, we've got Nine of Cups. And look at this beautiful rainbow and the Eight of Cups. Okay. Right, I think something comes in, it's around you for this moon month. That it's like a possibility, a space of possibility. It's something that you have really, really wanted. You've possibly questioned, you've wanted it for a long time. And I think it throws you into a bit of a spin. Now, whether this is your dream home, your dream job, the love of your life, you know, someone you've been with for a long time suddenly wants to take it to the next level of commitment. You've wanted it forever and you're like, now, well, should I do this? Should I not? You need to follow your North Star. It actually is a North Star for you. I actually almost want to say it feels like it could be, do you know, I almost don't want to jinx it saying it, which is really interesting. I think I'm picking up on the energy here because it feels like if I say it's almost too good to be true, and then you kind of think, well, if it is too good, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. I think in this instance, I think it actually is quite amazing. I think there's something here that has genuine long-term potential. Now, it's not going to emerge overnight, but the signs and the signals will be shown to you to help you to find that long-term potential, that long-term dream that is your North Star. Whatever that is for you, it's unique to you, my lovely Saggies. But I think it comes forward and I think you feel it. The question is, can you dare to believe that it can be real? I feel like there's a vulnerability underneath that desire or attached to that desire. And it's almost like finally it shows up for you and it's like, wow, this is amazing, but can you really believe that this can be possible? It's almost like your belief is being challenged, not the actual something, but your belief in the realness of it is being challenged. And I think that's a really interesting energy around for a flow of a moon month when there is an eclipse season happening. We have a Mercury in retrograde. Mercury in retrograde will naturally invite review and reflection, and we can look back with Mercury retrograde energy, and the portal of eclipses means you can look back to see where you've come from. So I think something shows up in your moon month. In a way, it's the breakthrough moment because it's something you have waited for. You've been trying to manifest it for a long time. You've persevered. Yep. Despite constraints, you've persevered. You've done the work. Way to go, my lovely Saggies. Now, it finally arrives and it turns your world upside down and you're like, whoa, I can't really trust this. I can't really believe it. But I think it's your North Star. It's like the holy grail of your manifestations, whatever that would be for you. And on that basis, I think there will be signs and signals to guide you, beautiful Saggies, unquestionably. We have the rune of harvest, the breakthrough and the harvest. It's going to turn your world upside down. But this is all about giving yourself permission to believe that this is possible. Your reading is suggesting it is, or it's certainly worthy of discovering that possibility, and you will be guided and signs will be shown. And there's such a strong card here. Don't let past events colour your vision of the future. Don't let the past get in the way. Wow, I think this is the strongest guidance that's come through in all of the readings so far, lovely Saggies. So there's transformation in every one. So, you know, do check out your, if this is your sun sign, do check out your moon sign if you know it, and your rising sign. Beautiful Saggies. I think this is really seriously a space of an incredible possibility. The question is, can you see beyond a perception that is perhaps really connected more to past experiences than present ones? Beautiful souls, wow, this is your reading. You're very welcome to join me on Patreon for the extendeds, where we will look at all this in much more detail, find out more about it. Otherwise, beautiful souls, thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you for some other readings really, really soon. Hello, lovely Capricorns. What's happening to you this moon month? Let's check in and see this incredibly powerful time. I'm seeing both of these cards for you. So 2 cards coming through for my beautiful Capricorns. We have keep your heart open to unexpected possibilities. Remember to respond rather than react. That's pretty powerful, especially given that we have the Mercury retrograde energy. And as I was saying, if you haven't checked out the energy update part of this video, you might want to, the introduction, because there's so much potential unexpected happenings. That's literally what I've been saying. Expect the unexpected. Okay, so whatever happens, remember to respond rather than react. Let something arrive and land and see where it's going. Let's draw a ton of runes for you. The runes have been magical in these readings, they really have. Now, let's have a look and see what we have for my lovely Capricorns. You have the rune of protection, Algiz. You have the blank rune. This is a rune of possibility. You have the rune of defense, Awaz. You have the rune of strength, Uruz. You have then the rune of gateway. Okay, how interesting. So my lovely Capricorns, I think this moon month, I think something potentially is going to offer you a possibility, a space of possibility, and the energy is all about possibility. We're in eclipse season. However, I don't think it's going to come in the shape or form that you would expect, and it may not arrive consistently. This really does feel like an expect the unexpected, and sort of trust that it's going to be, it will be exactly what you need. So that's a really interesting energy. I'm actually going to dive straight into your tarot cards and have a look and see what else we're shown. I think it is literally creating a gateway for you, an opening, an entry point to something that is completely different, or something you want. A different space of possibility. This is really coming through. Almost as if it would be a bit like, where I'm going with this is almost a bit like if you were applying for jobs, doing something that you're really good at, you're qualified for, and you've been doing this, and this is what you're currently doing. You're not happy with the current position you're in. Or you'd like to extend yourself and do more. You've been applying for all sorts of jobs, all in the same field, and then suddenly someone comes along and headhunts you, and it's doing something completely different. And you're like, well, why would I do that? It's totally not, this is not what I'm qualified to do. And yet, it's like, do you know, part of you would be going, yeah, but you know what? This could be so interesting. I don't know anything about this. This could be amazing. Or that looks a fantastic team. It's like, it's that kind of flavour here. Remember to respond rather than to react, because your first reaction could be, oh, I couldn't do that. Or why would they ask me to do that? But actually, if you pause and review, reflect, you might think, do you know what? That's far more in alignment with where I want to be going, or that would put another skill under my belt, as it were, another skill in my toolkit. That could be just the thing I need at this moment in time. Likewise, if someone comes along and something happens, I'm kind of working around the work kind of scenarios, but if someone comes along and says something to you, or something ends abruptly or changes course, and you could get quite cross about that. But rather than being cross, respond rather than react. Press the pause button. Have a think on this. There is a higher purpose. We're in a very karmic energy when we're in those portals of eclipse energy. So I feel something quite exciting is happening for you, but I'm not sure it's going to arrive in a straightforward way, my lovely Capricorns. It may even be around you already, but my goodness me, it's a gateway. Look at that with the dragonfly. See beyond the illusion. See beyond the illusion of what you expect. This is a doorway. I think a doorway of potential, of possibility, of something quite magnificent is being opened for you in this moon month. And you're being asked to almost like receive it with good grace. I'm hearing with the swan coming in. Two of Pentacles, possibly almost certainly connected to work, finances, health, money, that kind of, the Pentacles kind of stuff. But I will say, if it connects to partnership, then it's a very balanced union. And with this makes the symbol of infinity. I mean, it's also something with longer term potential here. Okay, we have the Empress. Yes, it does have potential. We have the Star, absolutely. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the card of Justice, and then we have the Hanged Man. Okay. It's so clear. Your reading is so clear, my lovely Capricorns. So the opportunity that arrives has genuinely got long-term potential. It really does have the longer-term potential that it's going to arrive in an unexpected way. It really does enable you to sort of reset your pathway to the future, to take a different direction, literally, potentially. It's almost as if your North Star changes direction, and you think, well, I always thought I was going in that direction, and now I'm going to go in that direction. How can my North Star have shifted? But it has shifted. I think it's really right for you. And this is suggesting with the Knight of Pentacles that you can proceed with confidence. Don't react with the Hanged Man. I'm seeing that. What your cards are also saying is, look, you're not under any pressure to do this, to accept this window of opportunity. There's conscious free will and choice, and you could choose to stay on the pathway you're on, if you so wish. But, and it is quite an important but, they're saying don't react quickly. Take your time and look at this carefully, because I think if you look at it, you'll see the potential that is in it, okay? I think you'll see the real potential. At first glance, you might think, well, that's not for me, or that's not the direction I thought I'd be going in. But if you take your time to really review and evaluate it, I think you'll see very clearly that it is loaded with potential, and it really offers you a very significant future. It could be that it takes you down a pathway that offers you a much longer term kind of end goal rather than a short term kind of solution. It's definitely coming in an out of the box way or in an unusual direction. I just don't think it's what you would normally expect to be doing. If this is a relationship connection, sometimes I do see the Two of Pentacles sometimes as a very even and balanced relationship. It might be someone who's really not your usual type. But however we look at it, you're being given a gateway to a very different future. And I think if you look at it carefully, rather than reacting and thinking, well, that's not for me, or I don't want this, or this is out of my comfort zone. If you take your time to look at it, my lovely Capricorns, I think you'll see what an incredibly bright future this pathway offers you. I think this is lovely, Capricorn. I really do. What a stunning message to come through for your moon month. Beautiful souls, you're welcome to join me for the extended readings where I'll be finding out more. But I think, beautiful Capricorns, this is fab. It's so in alignment with the eclipse energy, and also paving the way for the next moon month, where we will be obviously delving into that energy of Uranus and Jupiter coming together, when things are going to expand. So I do think the whole moon month for all of the signs is offering us sort of almost like a preparation, or the first step towards that massive surge of expansion and possibility that is coming next month. So, you know, this is all about giving us the heads up of what we can do in order to be completely ready to use that energy to the very best advantage. My beautiful Capricorns, tons of love. Thank you for being here and being a part of the Moon Magic Tarot channel. I look forward to seeing you for some other readings, either on Patreon for the extendeds or other readings here on YouTube. Tons of love, beautiful souls. Lovely Aquarius, welcome to your moon month readings. Okay, your first card, no feeling is final, everything passes. That's an interesting energy. No feeling is final, everything passes. So what is transitioning around you? Let's draw runes. Okay, so we have the two that have shown themselves to start as our movement. This is Awaz, and also fertility, Ingas. You then have the rune of the self. You have, as manners, you then have constraint. Okay, this is Nathus. You have the rune of protection, and you have the blank rune of possibility. Ah, lovely. Right, my lovely Aquarius. What I feel like is something's up in the air with you. Now, it may not feel it, but it is actually moving forwards. Something is both coming to an end and also a new beginning is arriving. But I do feel you're sort of you're being left hanging or lingering, not quite knowing. You kind of know that something can move forwards. You want it to move forwards. I think you can see possibility, and yet there is constraint, patience. Something isn't happening. It's not moving ahead as you would like. For some of you, if this is a soulmate connection, like a twin flame, Maybe they're not in the right place to move forwards, but you are, and you're wondering, well, why isn't this happening? When is this going to take place? When am I going to be able to shift this forwards? Like, you can see the possibility, and yet somehow it's as if the universe hasn't quite caught up with your space of possibility or your vision of possibility yet. This is interesting. Let's draw your tarot cards and see what we're shown. No feeling is final. Okay. We have, so the cards that have shown themselves first are, we have, oh wow, Queen of Swords, Six of Wands, and the King of Cups. Right, this is suggesting, beautiful souls, that actually the outcome you desire is actually going to come. It's just that you are in a place where it isn't quite ready to move forwards. Okay, I mean, this is a card of success, it's a card of victory. So something that is going on around you that's causing you to feel stuck, restricted, as if it's not happening, it will shift, and I think it's going to shift in your favour. We have the High Priestess. There's a lot of guidance around you. We have the Ten of Wands. We have the Magician. We have the Seven of Swords. And then we have the card of Justice. Okay, now if any of you are involved in any kind of a law kind of suit or a contract, any kind of legal matters, I'm going to say, lovely Aquariuses, I do actually think this is going to come out favourably for you. This is what this is looking like. It'll come out favourably, but I think you're having to wait. You're basically having to sit and wait for something. And I can see that this is very uncomfortable. Okay. That's what I'm seeing. But no feeling is final. Okay. Everything passes. So this will shift. It will move on. If you are recovering from something that went wrong, if you're picking up the pieces from something, it's either something going on around you where you're having to wait, or in which case I think the outcome will be favourable, but it's very uncomfortable to wait. If you have experienced something where you are now feeling as though you're in that in-between space, things are in the air, you're feeling like, you know, you've got to pick up the pieces, start afresh, you're going to be fine. You'll be stronger, you'll be wiser. What happened actually had to happen, my beautiful Aquariuses. It really did. Somehow it couldn't have continued as it was. Ultimately, it would have been a significant, it would have got worse, this situation. It would have got worse, I think, with the Ten of Wands. Had it not come to a head, it would have got worse, and it just had to. So it had to reach this point in order for something to be moved forwards, and it's just how it is. It's one of those things. I think it will be a month where you can begin to lay this to rest. Okay, it is going to move forwards. Completion of beginnings, I always feel, with the rune of fertility. You need to fertilize the ground for your own deliverance. You need to recognize that no feeling is final. Everything is in a space of movement. I think there will be an opportunity to put this down, for it to complete, to come to an end, to be put down, and for you to bring some balance back into your life, whether that's a balanced perspective or a physical balance. If you've been struggling with anything at all, I'm seeing that there are difficult feelings around this, and that feeling of constraint around you, emotions feeling as though they can't be voiced or can't be vented or can't be discussed. I'm seeing that change here. So if you're feeling like you're never going to get the chance to say or do the thing you wanted to, as if the world has been holding you back. I do think it's going to shift and change. The point will come when this will start to turn around. It will start, you will start to rise, my lovely Aquariuses. I mean, these are the most beautiful cards. So positive. Queen of Swords, King of Cups. It's real dynamic energy, sort of both mind and heart. If you've been doing battle over anything, my lovelies, with like a choice where, you know, do you follow your head or do you follow your heart? I think they'll come into unison, and actually the outcome will be appropriate for both your head and your heart. Lovely Aquariuses, whatever has been going on, I'm sorry that you're not feeling okay, but there is going to be a really fruitful outcome here that's going to create a space of far greater possibility. Far greater space of possibility. I think in this moon month you will reach a point where you actually see that with clarity. You may not see it right now, but I think you'll reach a point where suddenly the possibilities that have come from your current scenario will become apparent to you, and you will know that you can now make some choices, find a greater sense of agency, and kind of follow through with something. Because yeah, this feels like this is a positioning, a repositioning of your energy into a space of empowerment, victory, of taking charge again. At the moment, it feels as if, even though it's actually guided, it probably doesn't feel like it. But I think that shift is coming. I think you'll see it through new eyes, a new lens, and I think you'll recognize the possibilities. Something will come along that will give you a glimpse of the possibilities that are going to become available because of this scenario that currently sits around you. And once you step into this, this will remove the battle between head and heart, because, you know, head and heart will suddenly align because you can see the true potential, almost like the silver lining for some of you from this setting. Almost does look like a silver lining around the edge of this card. And look, this cloak has a silver lining to it. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. And you will be able to begin to make choices appropriately so. Yeah, I think the energy will shift for you, my lovely Aquarius, and I'm thrilled to say it because I can see that things don't feel particularly great right now at this point in time, if you're picking up on this reading or tuning into it at the time that I'm uploading it ahead of the new moon. But you know, this is the energy that's coming. It's the shift. It's the eclipse season energy that transports us from one zone to another and actually creates portals of opportunity, and things can happen very quickly. And these top three cards could not be more empowered. They're fabulous. Lovely Aquarius, this is your reading. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for being here on YouTube and being a part of the Moon Magic community. Beautiful souls, you're very welcome to join me for the extended readings over on Patreon. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you for some other readings really, really soon here on YouTube. Tons of love. Beautiful Pisces, let us see what your moon month holds for you. What's happening for Pisces for the coming month? Have confidence that you can make progress. This is your first card. What a lovely affirmation that seems to be for you, my lovely Pisces. Let us draw your runes. Okay, so I'm seeing some beautiful runes here already. Now you have the rune of harvest, Jira. Jira tells us that you will get the outcome. The harvest is coming, but it may take a little while. You're going to have to work at this. You're going to have to process it. A harvest doesn't come. You sow a seed, it doesn't come overnight. We've also got Berkana showing. Now this is a whole new phase of growth. So there's a whole new phase of life going on here. So something is, you're having to slightly bide your time in order for something to be processed to get to where it needs to be. You have the rune of defense here, Awaz. Now this really asks, it's almost like a request to sort of manage your emotions, that the highs and lows, the ups and downs of transition when things are sort of working their way into a new space of being. We then have journey, Rado, and also fertility. How lovely. So something is possibly needing to draw itself to a completion, reach a close, in order to then kind of move forwards to the next phase. I do see some of you potentially, there could be moving house involved, whether it's you or someone else in your world. You know, you could be holidaying, you could be taking a trip, you could be organising something, but this can indicate a big sort of shift or move in quite a physical way. But there is fertility. It sort of feels like there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but it's not necessarily going to, you're not necessarily going to get it within this moon month. That's what I feel. It's like we're needing to look ahead a little bit and recognise that while you are transitioning towards a new space of being, there will be things that need to be done along the way, and it may feel a little bit emotionally, possibly up and down along the way. Let's draw your tarot cards and see what else we're shown. What's actually happening in this coming month? King of Swords. Okay. So you're needing to sort of, I kind of want to say stay on course, really. We then have the Prince of Wands. Oh, lovely. And we have the Star. Right, so I am seeing some things move. Some quite decisive energy with the King of Swords, very clear mindset. The Prince of Wands is a very happening energy. And then the Star, of course, is about, I do think in this instance it's suggesting a slightly new direction. She's dipping her toe in the water as well, I notice. Yeah, I wonder if you will actually find yourselves moving, tentatively testing the waters. Things maybe be sort of almost trialing, like a trial period of something, to see what it's actually like, to find out whether it's the right direction or not. We have the Death card, so we have the Death and Rebirth. We have these two cards showing up as well. So Two of Wands and Knight of Wands. So there is a significant transition going on around you. I think this is like a bit like dipping your toe in the water. And do you know what? You're not going to know unless you try it, is the answer. I rather think that you take the plunge in something, lovely Pisces. I think you decide to have a go. There could be a journey, a holiday, testing the waters, maybe a house move, going out, and if you were going to move house, for example, you might rent somewhere for, you know, a few weeks, get an Airbnb or something and go and test the waters, see what it actually feels like to be there. I feel there's a testing of something here, a checking something out, because I think you're approaching it actually quite logically. In a way, have confidence that you can make progress is really saying, look, let's go test the waters. Let's do this in a logical fashion and go and see what it actually feels like. Does it make your heart sing? Do you feel really good about it? Dip your toe in the water. Go find out. You're not going to know unless you find out. So go find out. Curiously enough, as you sort of rise to the challenge, I think pathways open for you. And you can kind of see the way forwards, and then things can move quite quickly with the Knight of Wands. Yeah, Seven of Wands. And you start to make choices and decisions. Look at the energy of the Lion here in the Prince of Wands and again in the Seven of Wands. It's almost like your fears that you can't make progress get overcome simply by, it is literally simply by testing the water. I really like your reading, Pisces. It's like taking a series of logical steps to see how it feels, and then because because I think you've got the ball rolling, it's almost like the universe can start to open doorways for you. And it's fascinating because we are in eclipse season, and therefore, as I've already said in the energy update, if you haven't checked out the energy update here on the beginning of this video, beautiful souls, I strongly recommend you do so. It's a really interesting month. It really is. There's very dynamic energy, and it could feel a little bit crazy, a little bit wild, a little bit unexpected, some twists and turns, but all to empower. And remember, empowerment is power over yourself, not power over others. So I sort of feel very strongly there's loads of really good stuff going on here for you. Have confidence, you can make progress. And remember, if you try something on for size, you still have choices. You're keeping your choices open. Because if it doesn't feel right, you don't have to progress. But if it does, you can. Either way, you are in a position of empowerment. And this is what I'm seeing in your reading. I feel that you're at the stage of something that has an opportunity for a new chapter. To create a new chapter. Whatever this is, it will be unique to you in your personal circumstances. But literally approaching it in this very logical way is going to give you the opportunity to be in a position of where you call the shots effectively, where you're making the choices and you're not pushed into a corner. I'm not seeing anything like that. I'm just seeing you set forth on a voyage of discovery, and if approached in the right way, which I think you can easily do, my lovely Pisces, I think it's a win-win situation basically, because whatever happens, you know, the choices are available to you, you can make them, and it'll be based on actual real experience where you've tried something out. I think this is lovely. It feels very empowering, quite light, quite energized, your energy. Pisces, I'm genuinely loving your reading. I think it's a beautiful energy around you for this moon month, especially given that I've been saying in all the readings, you know, looking at the overall energy, it feels like this is a bit of a time of preparation, this coming moon month. And so I'm seeing you doing the same, but your energy feels quite light in comparison to some of the other signs. And quite light and empowered in a very lovely kind of, let's check this out kind of way. And as if sort of gateways then open, simply because it's almost as if you are aligning yourself with the flow forwards and that space of preparation, that space of discovery. And because your energy is so much in alignment with the overall flow of energy that's coming into our beautiful planet at this moment in time for this whole month, I sort of think it works for you basically. Well, I think it's delightful. Lovely Pisces, what a gorgeous reading. Beautiful souls, tons and tons of love. Thank you for being here on YouTube. You're very welcome to check out the extended readings where we'll check out all of these things and discover more. But yeah, thank you for being here. Lovely, lovely energy. Tons of love, and I look forward to seeing you for some other readings, either for those extended on Patreon or some more readings here on YouTube. Tons of love, Pisces.